Chapter 35. What did you say? Rhys froze, thinking he had misheard him. I said I'm not interested in a business that's about to go bankrupt, Dustin repeated. Bankrupt. Everyone was too stunned to react to his words. How dare you? That's nonsense. Rhys was shocked, but he quickly denied it. Nolan Pharmaceuticals is raking in profits every day and is at its prime. How could we go bankrupt? Stop fear-mongering. Only you know whether this is fear-mongering or not. Anyways, I've received news that Nolan Pharmaceuticals will be investigated due to the sale of counterfeit illicit drugs. It's just a matter of time before they go bankrupt. Dustin's words were very shocking. Counterfeit drugs. Investigated. Now, everyone was even more puzzled. Their gaze turned to Rhys. Nonsense. All of it is nonsense. Dustin, stop spreading these rumors. Nolan Pharmaceuticals is a law-abiding company. How could it go under investigation? I can sue you for defamation. Rhys threatened. His words may appear firm, but he was in turmoil on the inside. Nolan Pharmaceuticals was indeed under investigation and would go bankrupt soon. He intended to list the company as a publicly traded company to raise capital so he could run off with a fortune. However, the news had been suppressed. How did Dustin know without it being leaked? Dustin, what nonsense are you spewing? How can a company as successful as Nolan Pharmaceuticals go bankrupt? Florence reprimanded. That's right. Everyone knows that Nolan Pharmaceuticals has good assets and is at the peak of success. Stop spreading lies. James also piped in. It was obvious they doubted him. After all, the Nolan family had a long history in Swinton. They also maintained a good reputation, so it did not seem possible to have issues. It's the truth. Nolan Pharmaceuticals is about to go under, and the so-called capital increase and share expansion is nothing than a money-grabbing scam. Rhys even contacted Mason to borrow money. The investigation of the company and its bankruptcy were obviously true. Bullshit. I just wanted to do everyone a favor because we're close. It's fine if you choose not to accept my offer, but how dare you slander me? What intentions do you have? Rhys cried out. Mr. Rhys, it's fine if you're not able to help us. But why cause trouble when Rhys just wants to help us? You're really devious. That's right. This fellow must be slandering Rhys because he's jealous. Dustin, you're so despicable. Everyone started to chime in, one after another. Dustin was poor, while Rhys had power and money. Between the two, they were more inclined to believe Rhys. Dustin couldn't help but frown as he watched the commotion. He did not expect his kind intentions to be returned with such a negative reaction. This proved that no one would believe a man without money or power. 1. Dustin, do you have proof that Nolan Pharmaceuticals is going bankrupt? Dahlia suddenly asked. She had invested $8 million worth of funds. Naturally, she had to be courtio. I don't have evidence. But what I said was the truth. You can check if you don't believe me. You should be able to trace the information, Dustin replied coldly. Dahlia's expression darkened at his words. Did this mean he was just making it up? She even had high expectations for him. It turned out he was just making false accusations. This must be the result of his jealousy turning into hatred. Everyone, since Dustin claimed I'm a swindler, just forget the matter about the shares, lest I rip off everyone. Seeing that the timing was right, Rhys deliberately put on an act as if he had been wronged.